Evening. Buyer's remorse. Buy a new car? I'll be moving in. Let's get started.
Sorry, I think there's been a mistake. I bought it from Carvana.
You what?
Yeah, great price. I even have 7 days to love it or return it.
So there's no...
No buyer's remorse. More like buyer's rejoice.
I guess I'll let myself out. Congratulations. I mean it.
Buyer's rejoice. Buy your car today on Carvana.
Limitations and exclusions may apply. See our 7-day return policy at Carvana.com.
Ever notice how life's best stories don't happen in your living room? They happen on the open road, out on the water, or parked under the stars. At Progressive, they get that you want to focus on the experience, not worry about the what-ifs. That's why they offer quality insurance designed for your ride, whether that's a boat, RV, or motorcycle. Adventure with confidence. Visit Progressive.com and see how easy it is to protect your favorite way to get away. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Not available in D.C. Prices vary based on how you buy.
Down the biggest stories of the day. This is the top 3 stories of the day on KSLSports.com. 97.5 The KSL Sports Zone.
Jacob Ben, 97.5 The KSL Sports Zone. Ben is out today. Coach Combe, nice enough to stick around for an hour. Appreciate that. I did get a chance to see Ozzy once before he passed. I'm assuming you saw Ozzy probably more than once.
I never saw Ozzy, just Ozzy. But I did see Black Sabbath.
I did as well. It was Black Sabbath when they did the reunion tour.
Out here in Salt Lake. And did you see him in Salt Lake?
At American First. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I did too.
I was at that show.
That Sunday night. It was a Father's Day. It was on Father's Day.
Yeah.
I was there.
That was fun.
I was in a wig. Trying to blend in.
I was shocked how well he could still sing.
He was great.
They
were great. Like, that was, honestly, I've been to a million shows, but he brought it that night.
He didn't even move. Like, he just stood up there, but still wailed it out.
Do you remember the part? So, in the very beginning, they had those air raid sirens and stuff going, and they had a spotlight from the back, and you just saw him with his cape. I mean, it was so epic, man. It was, I'm glad I was there.
Time for the top 3 stories of the day at KSLSports.com. It's brought to you by J. Brooks Jewelers. Explore their expertly crafted engagement rings made from the finest materials. J. Brooks Jewelers. All right, Christian, where do you want to start today?
Number 1, Darryn Peterson impressed everybody in his Salt Lake Summer League debut. They're going to be taking on Cam Boozer and the Grizzlies tonight.
28 points, Coach. Efficient, 11 of 21 shooting, 4 of 7 from 3, 5 boards. He had 8 turnovers, which needs to button that up a little bit. But all in all, an extremely impressive debut for the Jazz rookie. Let me ask you this, Coach. I had my buddy Tony, who lives in Texas, is a huge Jazz fan, so he'll text me about opinions and that stuff. And he asked me what I thought about Peterson, and I said the Jazz have never had anyone like him. Would you agree with 100%. That take?
Yeah, I said that the night they drafted him. I think his athletic and everything else, like, he's the most complete guy they've drafted. A guy that he doesn't have to make any changes to his body. He's like a man's strength. But if you're talking about what I'm talking about, it's his ability to get to the paint at will, get to the rim at will. I mean, that is, as you know, a big-time commodity and something he possesses.
Well, combine that with a guy who can really shoot it. I mean, what a stroke.
What a stroke. I mean, his step back there, he made 2 shots in crunch time, but the step back to his left, I mean, seriously, I'll put his footwork up in that against anybody, and it's just year one. I talked to a bunch of people, and, one of the biggest things that NBA people, like execs and stuff, they hate overreactions, good or bad. I mean, the last couple of years, speaking of that game, you and I have watched Cody Williams just fight for his life.
Yep.
And all the way knowing he didn't have the toolkit he needed. I mean, he was just out there because that's the way it works. He's an older guy. If he waits another year of college, he probably misses a window. So he goes, and he's taking his lumps. But, man, was he great the other night. And it just speaks to some guys like Darryn. They have a lot of those things early. Cody has to work at them. It's why development is not linear.
No, and his stuff, he really needed to grow. Well, you just needed to get bigger.
Yeah.
And that seems to be headed in the right direction. And I thought Ace Bailey played well in his 20 minutes and, showed that, hey, maybe I'm a little above Summer League now.
Oh, Ace was great. And, I heard this summer, shared it on our show, but I'll share it with you guys. I was talking to somebody inside the organization, and they basically said been doing it forever, and they'd never seen a kid approach his rookie season with the level of willingness and humility that Ace did last year. And it's funny because you and I saw it. Like night one, I think we both had expectations this kid's going to come out and just fire bad shots up, and to the contrary, he was not stellar in his debut, but I remember us talking about the fact that he didn't go out there and force things that weren't there. So I think Ace's ability to read the room, and then, he's just working, dude. He's here in town. He's in that gym. He's in that weight room. And I do believe Ace is on the front end of what we saw with Keontae. He's going to have a leap.
He needs one. I mean, and I kind of wondered, the attention all last year was, how good could Ace be? And all this energy that is now going to Darryn Peterson was going to Ace Bailey last year. And I wonder how he reacts to kind of the shift in the narrative, if that really motivates him to take that next step that you're talking about. I
would bet there's a motivation for sure, but, I don't think there's any threat by it by any means. I think he sees it because they talk about it in the building a lot. They want to win a championship. And these guys are smart enough because they go out. One of the things they want to do is draft smarter guys that pass the, more so than just A to B. They want them to understand nuance of the game. And even it doesn't hurt to have that off the court either. But I think they have a bunch of talented guys that understand that this can't work if everybody gets exactly what they want. And so you've got to have the ability to be willing to sacrifice and give. And I think the Knicks just put that on full display for us. And I think that's what the Jazz are trying to do.
And then the Jazz did add a wing defender, Josh Okogie, who spent last year in Houston, agrees to a 2-year, $12 million deal with the Jazz. Any thoughts on his fit? I've liked him as he's come through town.
I think if you're talking about a guy that can really get after it on the defensive side, I think Josh can do that. I think his certainly ability to shoot the basketball is important, especially if you're a defensive guy. To be able to do two things like that. And I do believe that he's at 36%, if I remember looking right. I'm not Mike Smith. It doesn't just go in there and lock, but I did look at it. And so shoots the ball well enough. And I just like as he's come through town with different teams, he's notable because of his effort.
And the Jazz can use a little bit of that to rub off on their young players, certainly.
Yeah.
And they need somebody who's going to go out there and stop. I kind of think that their last in the league defense these last couple of years was intentional, but they do need some guys who are going to set the defensive tone when the trying commences.
I think principles were taught defensively, but it's just hard to, to not have last year for particularly rim protection.
At all.
Yeah, no rim protection. This is something I read on Josh. It says Okogie's defensive impact is highlighted by his active hands ability to guard multiple positions, particularly regarded for creating turnovers and providing energy.
Overwhelmed? That was me with diabetes. Hey, I'm Jabron. Between teaching and coaching, managing diabetes felt like an extra job. With the Freestyle Libre 3 CGM, I get real-time glucose readings and have the insights to make informed decisions. My life feels lighter now. Learn more at freestylelibre.us.
The views expressed should not be used for medical diagnosis or treatment as a substitute for professional medical advice. Individual circumstances may vary. For prescription only. Safety info found at freestylelibre.us.
Best thing that's ever happened to you financially. Go.
Easy. Sold my car on Carvana. Amazing offer.
Really? I hit 200 on a scratcher.
Did the scratcher come to your house and hand you a check?
No.
How many scratchers did you hit to get that? I hit a button on Carvana.com once.
Okay, that's fair.
It's like the lottery, except you always win.
Not like the lottery at all, actually.
Exactly. Inexplicably good. Offers worth bragging about. Sell your car today on Carvana. Pickup fees may apply.
What's next?
Number 2, Big 12 Media Days begin tomorrow. Got the whole crew heading out to Frisco.
Yeah, PK is going to be out there. You and Scotty. I'm going to be out there, and we're going to have it covered for you top to bottom. Are there any storylines or anything you're curious about particularly, Coach?
I'm curious to see how the Sorsby thing, I think enough time has gone by, and I think the result was correct. But I'm just curious how much of that's going to linger.
I think a lot of it.
And questions asked about it.
Well, I think relationships at least changed. I don't know if you want to say damaged, but it was Texas Tech taking on the rest of the league. You guys had Brian Santiago on the day after that contentious call with the athletic directors happened. And Brian said all the right things. But if you kind of saw what sifted out through the media about what that call was really like, it was everybody taking on Texas Tech. And so I wonder, I actually thought Bert Yormark navigated that really well, considering it was such a touchy situation. And the best possible thing happened, and Sorsby just went away. That was the best possible outcome. But I'm curious if there's any fallout. You know, how are those Texas Tech guys going to be strutting around? Is Cody Campbell going to be there? Because he was there last year. So all those things, those little subtle storylines are kind of what makes media days interesting. What everybody, it's not just, you know, the interviews, but it's what everybody's talking about down there. Last year it was Texas Tech and their giant purse and
how they went and bought that defensive line.
Yeah, best team money can buy. I think Sorsby will be very present and at media days. But I'm curious, you know, we can ask PK about this later in the show, but I'm curious to talk to the Utah guys about the change in coaching and how much of the culture is still the same and how much of the culture has changed.
Man, I'm getting a good vibe from just watching the guys they're signing and the abundance of guys, particularly locally. They're winning real battles with recruiting. So certainly we understand the power of positivity in Morgan Scalley. I mean, I think that's who he is, but I think he's way more than that. I think he's a football coach, and he's a darn good one. And now he gets to prove move over a couple steps, wear a little bit louder whistle. I don't know what else you do in football, but, you know, you're in charge now. And so I'm excited to see him take this challenge on.
When Coach Witt initially took the job, and he talked about this, he was pretty open about it, but what he took from Coach Mack, and then what he took from Urban Meyer, and then of course he'll talk to you about what he took from his dad, and then how he molded that together for his own philosophy. I'm really curious to see what Morgan does similarly. I mean, how much does he keep from Witt? Morgan played for Urban Meyer, so how much has he taken from Urban Meyer, and how much does he put his own spin on it?
The one thing I can tell is seems to be more smiles. You know, I mean, I think culturally, you know, Witt is a guy who likes mystery and smoke and intrigue, and it works for him. But I think in terms of Morgan's, I think it's just more like there's just more feeling of openness up there. So I'm excited for him. I saw in a preseason poll, and I mentioned this on our show, BYU Utah all over the top 3 or 4 in most things I've looked at. So I'm excited to see how the predictions come out. LJ Martin was released today, I guess, as the Offensive Player of the Year. So I think that's the right choice, and I think BYU's trajectory took a different pitch knowing he's coming back.
All right, Christian, what's next?
Number 3, take that red card away. Team USA is going to be at full strength tonight against Belgium.
Balogun is...
How do you feel about it?
So I honestly have so many thoughts on it, which is so funny because it's the story that's dominating everything. But my first take is this is just yet another reason to get rid of replay.
Oh, gosh.
Because that's the excuse they're using, right? That they didn't use the VAR correctly, so that it was in slow motion or something, and so that's why they're
looked more egregious,
rescinding the red card or whatever. But we need to get back to where refs make terrible calls, and then we just all move on with our lives. You know, now we've got presidents that are getting involved and making phone calls and
I'd love to hear that one.
And I mean, you know what? I'm excited for Team USA. Good, they're going to be better on the field. I'm pulling for them. Go get them. But it's just so silly. You know what? We're so out for justice in the sports world. We'll just go to any length. And at what end? You know what? Your team gets screwed once in a while. Let's all move on with our lives. Dick Bavetta existed. Jazz fans have had to live with it, and they're okay. The sun came up tomorrow.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think the hard part about sport is, you know, there's a lot of people at the games, and they're wearing different uniforms. And at the end of the night, there's only one of them, and maybe even that whole group, like half of them will be mad because certain guy didn't play as much as he should have or whatever. But most are there, and you can only make one of them happy. And I'm with you. It's the replays, the way we've gotten down to it. I don't mind baseballs because it's quick, and you are instantly basically putting that guy on notice that you were wrong. In basketball, typically we get that 2-minute report, which is about as worthless as my 5:30 flight that's now been delayed to 6:30.
Oh, lame.
So I'll maybe flying with you.
Well, I'm glad I'm not by you sticking around. You're not going to be running
I'll be in no
Home Alone
rush.
style through the airport.
I'll be in no rush. And honestly, I'm excited. I put it down to a mistake, administrative mistake, and I can live with that. It's not like they were trying to get the dude to play and he'd bet on football or football.
You said you'd want to hear the call between President Trump and the FIFA president. I would too, but I would more like to know how much the bribe was and how that was dealt with. Because that, with FIFA, I mean, you saw Sepp Blatter. Did you see his tweet where he's tweeting out basically saying that I'm sure it was a quid pro quo?
Hey.
I'm sure that FIFA got some very generous donations to the correct people.
What's the old saying? Everything's fair in love, war, and the World Cup.
Oh yeah, I think it's funny how unabashed, like they're just shameless, just overturning a red card just for the heck of it. Why not?
Balaga, it's a whale, but it's also a soccer guy. He's very important to us. Would you like 250 mil? I have it left over.
We're sending a guy with a suitcase to the hotel. Just let's
tell me the room number.
Let's make the announcement. All right. Good,
He's in.
Good times. The former U.S. head of U.S. soccer or whatever, the representative in FIFA, was so corrupt that he not only had a Manhattan apartment for himself, but he also had the adjoining apartment for his cats.
Who's this guy, Larry Scott?
Good one. All right, more next. Sarah Todd, top of the 3 o'clock hour. Jake and Ben, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Best thing that's ever happened to you financially. Go.
Easy. Sold my car on Carvana. Amazing offer.
Really? I hit 200 on a scratcher.
Did the scratcher come to your house and hand you a check?
No.
How many scratchers did you hit to get that? I hit a button on Carvana.com once.
Okay, that's fair.
It's like the lottery, except you always win.
Not like the lottery at all, actually.
Exactly. Inexplicably good. Offers worth bragging about. Sell your car today on Carvana. Pickup fees may apply.